And it's, what you create is a family. That's a figurative family and all where, you have a common bond as far as the sport thing and winning and those types of things. And so, man, when I had the opportunity to go into Kentucky, I mean, that was a good eye-opener for me. And then on top of that, what I found out, too, even with the classes and all, the ratio, between the different shades was completely different for me and all. But then I realized people are people. It doesn't matter what part of town or how much money you got and all, too. How you treat others respectfully. 99.9 people are going to do the same thing back to you and all, no matter what shade of color. And so, to me, people always ask, going to Kentucky, what was the thing that stood out? It wasn't the sports and all. It was just learning how to, treating people the way I want to be treated and vice versa, and created some friendships, that last a lifetime for me.
No doubt about that, and your team was good too. You won the Southeast Conference title your junior year, and then the senior year you were only lost one game with a number 6 ranked team in the country. So a lot of success at the end of your high school career with championships, and the same thing in college.
Oh yeah, no, and again, those things are like the bonuses and all too, sports and all. When you play and then you can win games and get in the right directions and get some recognition and all too. But, as a whole and all, it's just sports has its place and all, too. Sometimes it's kind of distorted and all, especially when you get in the pros about money and those types of things. But as I stated before, it wasn't about, to me, especially my time at University of Kentucky, it wasn't about, my goal is to make it to the NFL and make money and do these types of things. But everything kind of worked in place, and I was in the right place at the right time. I was around the right people that got me in a position where, I could get drafted and all too. I had, when you can go to the University of Kentucky, I had some great coaches. Coach Fran Kersey, head coach, man, was a pretty straight up guy and all too, a no tolerance type of guy, but at the same time give you opportunity to play. And then one of the coaches that stand out in my mind that really made a difference in my life too was Pat Etcheberry. He was our strength and conditioning coach. And that's where I learned a lot of discipline. You have to make the sacrifice and those types of things. And you got to work hard. You got to work smart too. And Pat was one of the key people too that helped me, in my endeavors to not only, and I keep on saying, not only just to play football, but, the things that you learn, you liken to in the biggest sport there is life. And so, you can take all the things that we learned, discipline and all, sleep, what you put in your system, how you eat and all, and that not only affect your football game, but in life in general.
And all this added up to you being the second pick in the draft behind Earl Campbell to the Chiefs. Obviously, the draft day and process and everything like that was completely different then, but still, what was your expectation going into the draft, and what was it like when the Chiefs picked you number 2 overall?
Well, again, it's one of those dream situations and all where, I was, like I said before, very fortunate to be surrounded by, and I'm not just talking about coaches and all, but just people in general. Like I said, my high school principal, Ms. Cream, I had other folks. I had to go back to my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Steve Coach and all, we talk on a weekly basis and all too. Very supportive, and he was a different shade. He's from the suburbs. And again, I hate using these terms, white or whatever, but, a lighter shade. He was white, but he took the time to expose me to other things, not only where I lived at, but he used to take me out places, do things and help me out a whole lot and all, too. So, like I said, it was a combination. I had, some uncles, some other folks in my community and all, guys that I played with, that kind of pushed me to a different level, so to speak. So, putting all those things together, I was very fortunate to get drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs, and being the second player picked. And it was. I mean, it was exciting and all, but then again, that excitement can go away unless you know, it's those days and all when they did draft me, it was nice. But then again, once you got drafted, that's when the work really came into play and all too.
Well, you pretty much hit the ground running. You were a Rookie of the Year for the Chiefs and were a starter your first year and would go on to pretty much seamless stardom for the Chiefs. You had double-digit sacks on a couple of occasions. When you finished, you were the all-time sack leader. The Chiefs were good sometimes, not so good other times. You're playing on artificial turf. There are a lot of things playing in those categories. But what was the Chiefs' journey like for you in the late 70s and into the 80s?
Well, it was to me, yes, as you stated earlier and all, we weren't winning too many games, so to speak. But, to me, is always, and this is going back to my original coach, my mother-in-law, and she never told me to be the best. She used to always tell me in class and sports and all, do your best, do the best that you can do. And that always kind of stayed in my mind, even though, as I stated earlier, we didn't win a lot of games, so to speak. Only one time in my career with the Chiefs and all my 10 years, we went to the playoffs just one time. But, those things stick in, playing the game, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's how you react and how you kind of come back from mistakes. And, things happen in the game. That's just like in life in general. It would have been nice, going to the Super Bowl and winning some Super Bowls and all too, but that's not what happened. And that's in life in general. Everything doesn't work exactly the way you want to work out, but you continue to do the best that you can. And the Chiefs now couldn't ask for a better time, with the Chiefs and all. And then if you take in consideration, when I came with Coach Marv Levy and all, which was his first year at the Chiefs in 1978. And again, another great coach that, sometimes you get coaches, man, they kind of mold you and say, hey, they want you to, if they say jump, they want they want to hear you say how high. Marv was a different type of coach, Coach Levy was a different type of coach. Because he recognized we all had different abilities, but as long as we worked as a team and in sync and all, and did our responsibility, he didn't get too stringent on, hey, I want you to do it this technique this way or that way. He allowed you to play the game with your natural ability in context with all the other players and all. And that's the type of coach he was, which made a world of a difference for me. And then my last 2 years, I got traded up to Buffalo playing with him, and that couldn't be a better time too. And we did my first year going up to Buffalo. And all we made it to the AFC Championship and lost to the Cincinnati Bengals and all. But what can I say? I mean,
it was quite a journey.
Yes.
So when you're going through the time with the Chiefs, obviously your personal life is going to start to blossom. You're married to your wife Liz for years and years now. I think you got married in 1983, I believe. How did you happen to meet Liz?
Well, I met Liz. She wanted to blossom some more, so I wanted to have a big family. So I said, Liz, can you do some blossoming for me? And so we had 11 kids. No,
you did have 11 children eventually, but how did you two get together?
Well, it was one, if you recall back in 1983, I think that's when Coach Makovic came in, took over Coach Levy's spot as head coach of the Chiefs and all. And so we had a camp out in Arizona. I think it was in Mesa or whatever. I think it was Arizona State and all. And somehow or another, I met Liz through another guy that was out there visiting his girlfriend, and he's living out there going to school. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened, we met incidentally and kind of developed from that. Liz lived here in Overland Park, went to Shawnee Mission South, and we kind of hit it off when we first met, just sitting around, just talking, just hanging out. It was, And from there, Liz started blossoming. Next thing you know, we got a family. We got married. Matter of fact, it was just kind of funny, even that situation. I met Liz, I think, around about St. Patty's time. I don't know if that was March or April, whatever. And we got married that June. And I can remember to this day, you know, we was in spring training in camp. We had a spring training camp and all too. And I told Coach Markovic that I had to go to a very important wedding. Could I have the afternoon or get out of practice early, whatever? I think that was June 3rd. And he allowed me to go to this special friend's wedding, which I found out was my wedding. But I used that to get out. The fellas didn't know I got married and all too. But
wow, we
got married and started our family, and now we got 24 grandkids.
11 kids, 24 grandkids. Pretty amazing.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Hey Kansas City, Joe Spiker, Easton Roofing back for another beautiful springtime in Kansas City. We are proud to announce our renewed partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. Starting in 2024, a portion of every job sold will be donated to a cause close to my heart. I was a big, and I encourage you to volunteer. And if you hire us for service on your residential or commercial roof, you'll know that a portion of the profits will go to a great cause. So call us at 913-257-5426. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Always great to catch up with Dr. Brad Whittle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Everybody wants to make every year a great one mentally and physically, and certainly ASFCA can help in that regard.
Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies. We're going to address the body and the mind to keep you in great shape. With winter moving into spring, we don't want to have the opportunity to get hurt or to be slow and not do what we used to do, right?
Absolutely right. And you can do that in a variety of ways.
We can. We love looking at the body and how it moves, looking at the posture and how it holds us to be strong, to be safe, and really to help us do those things we love to do.
The wide variety and range of services you can get helps in that regard at Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. 7 locations all around the Kansas City area. Find the one that's most convenient for you. And for more information, visit asfca.com/Danny. That's asfca.com/Danny.
If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business on Kansas City's #1 rated podcast, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Our guest is Art Still. He's in multiple halls of fame, the Missouri Hall of Fame, the University of Kentucky. Has had his number retired. He's in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, obviously, and had a fantastic career. What was it like to be traded after a decade with the Kansas City Chiefs? Obviously, you're going to go to a Bills organization that was about to hit a streak of remarkable football, but still after a decade with one team, what was it like to get traded?
Well, at the time, it was, I would like to finish my career with the Chiefs and all. But, at that time, too, and I don't know, Danny, there was a lot of transitioning going on, where I think it was just my mind is kind of crazy and all, too, because you went from Coach Markovic, which, again, if you think about that, we just first time going to the playoffs that year. We played the Jets, we lost to them and all. But then when we came back, I thought we started getting in the right direction, winning games and all. But then the Chiefs fired Coach Markovic. Mm-hmm. And then they hired the special team coach, which was Frank Gantz.
Right.
And that, I just, in my mind, that didn't make any sense. I'm thinking, now we just finally went to the playoffs, I think in 10, 15 years or so. And you would think that's momentum get you in the next direction and all, too. But then they fired the head coach, went to Frank Gantz, the special team coach. And that, I don't think that worked out too good. But then I think the Chiefs got rid of me and sent me up to Buffalo.